Author's POV. Becky quickly rushed to the room, following by Freen as the older girl trying to catch her up since she's walking too fast after got the news that the girl they saved last night were dead. Becky wait, Freen said as when they arrived at the room, the other's agent already there looking at the lifeless girl on the bed with a blanket covering her whole body. Becky can feel her world collapse just like that, her knees become weak as her past keep rewinding in her head looking at the white blanket covering the body. No, this can't be, she was just fine last night. Freen, please, do something, Becky begged looking at Freen who holding on Becky. Freen sighed closing her eyes as she hugged Becky tightly trying to calm down the younger girl as she feel her heart started to get hurt seeing Becky crying like this. This is all my fault, Freen, if I'm the one who get shot last night, she won't die, Becky cried out making Freen's heart shatter even more. All of the agents look at them feeling mixed emotion as one by one walk out the room, trying to respect their feelings leaving Saint there. Becky please, it's not your fault, okay? Please do not cry like this, Freen said pulling the girl closer as her eyes glanced at the man figure on the other side of the bed. Saint shake his head as a signal to let Becky cry, letting out all her emotions. Saint walked towards Freen patting her shoulder before speaking. Come to my room later, he said and Freen nodded her head as he left the room leaving. The two of them inside. Freen hold both of Becky's shoulder as she looks at her face and wiping down the younger girl tears. The older girl can't stand to see Becky cried like this, she don't know why, but she hated seeing her in this state. It's like she can feel Becky's emotions too. Becky, stop blaming yourself, okay? It's no one's fault and I promise you, we will get through this together, alright? We will save all of them together, okay? Freen said looking straight through her eyes cupping her cheeks trying to calm her down. Becky looked at Freen with teary eyes as she hugged the older girl tightly, startled the latter. Freen smiled responding the hug, hugging even tighter than before. Both of them just standing there hugging each other like it is their safe place. What is it you want to talk about? Freen asked sitting down after calming Becky down, the younger girl already fall asleep at the couch in Freen's room.
Yeah.
Freen have her own room in the agency. The folder of the girl, Saint put down the folder on the table as Freen opened it. Her name is Mai, 17 years old, and she basically have no one. Her parents died when she was 15 and was raised by her grandmother, but then her grandmother passed away 3 months ago. 1 month after she's got kidnapped, Saint said, making Freen sigh as she massaged her temple, feeling mad and guilty at the same. That's what I am thinking right now, I don't even know what's their true purpose is, Saint replied sighing. What we need to do right now is to continue our mission tomorrow night. We gotta attack 2 places at the same time. I believe that we didn't have enough time, Freen. I don't know what's gonna happen to them if we didn't act quickly, Saint said looking at Freen. Freen sighed as she can feel her mind is messing up. She doesn't know why is she acting like this. Freen never gets scared, but now she's started to feel it. Is it because she's worried something gonna happen to her? Or maybe she's worried about someone. Someone that started to change her slowly. Alright, I'm gonna tell the others to get ready, Freen said standing up. Freen, whatever happens please take care of yourself, Saint added and Freen nodded her head giving a small smiles before leaving the room. It's already nighttime, Freen walked to the cafeteria just to see her team at the corner of the table. Hang noticed as he waved his hand trying to get Freen's attention. Freen, let's eat first, Singh offered the food as soon as Freen sat down beside NOP. It's alright, I'm gonna take away something for Becky, Freen refused before taking a sip of the jasmine tea. Freen wanted to eat with Becky since the younger girl still haven't wake up from her sleep, thinking she must be tired from crying earlier. How is she? NOP asked as Freen put down her drink. Still haven't wake up, but she's alright now, Freen replied. Looking at the drink in front of her as her mind started to drift away after talking about Becky. She can't help but feel hurt every time she remembered how hard Becky cried earlier. I feel bad for her, I mean I get it though, she feels guilty for not being able to protect her, but in fact it's not even her fault, Billy let out his thought while resting his hand on Sang's shoulder. Freen sighed as her mind kept thinking about Becky. But she looks so devastated earlier, it looks like she experienced the same thing before, they don't even know each other, hang at it as Freen look at him kinda agree with him. It making Freen feel curious about Becky, there's still a lot of things she doesn't know about Becky. Saint said we gonna start tomorrow night, we gotta attack 2 places, Freen said making them look at each other and surprised. 2 places at the same night? Sang asked again trying to confirm something as Freen nodded her head. That's hard, I don't think we are enough, Tor added as Freen looked at him. We don't have a choice, we didn't have enough time now, you see what happened to that girl, it's a killer drug, Freen said with a deep sigh. It's too late to add another agent since all of them are still a newbie, it's impossible to train them in 1 day. Alright, let's just go with the flow, we still haven't found the boss yet, gosh this is stressing me up, Hang said leaning his body on the chair.
Yeah.
The boss is the biggest problem of all of them.
Yeah.
I know, we gotta prepare harder for it, Freen said, and they nodded their head as Freen stand up from her seat. I'm gonna buy some food for Becky, Freen added. Can I see her? NOP suddenly asked, making Freen looks at him. Let her sleep first, I will take care of her, don't worry, Freen replied, feeling a bit annoyed with the simple question. NOP nodded his head as Freen started to walk away to buy some food for Becky. She doesn't know why, but she didn't like his question earlier, the thought of seeing Becky and NOP together making Freen feel something she doesn't like. Freen shook her head, trying to get away from the thought as she started to buy some food for Becky. Becky woke up from her sleep at the unfamiliar place as she looks at her body and see a pair of jacket covering her body as she immediately recognized it. It is Freen's jacket. And she also started to remember how hard she cried on Freen's arm until she ended up falling asleep in Freen's office. Becky looked at her phone and saw it's 9 p.m. already as she slowly sit up, but her head started to get hurt. Ag. It must be because I cried too much, Becky mumbles, rubbing her head, but suddenly the door opened, revealing Freen. You are awake, Freen said, immediately putting down the food at the table, making her way towards Becky as she sit beside the younger girl. You okay? Your head hurt, isn't it? Freen asked after seeing Becky uncomfortable face as Becky slowly nods her head. Come here, I will massage you, Freen said, pulling Becky towards her as Becky leaned her head on Freen's shoulder. Freen started to massage the younger girl while Becky closed her eyes, enjoying the massage from Freen as she started to like the feelings. She can't even protest because of how bad is her throbbing head right now. It's because you cried too much, I brought you some food, after this you should eat and I will bring you some medicine to relieve down your headache, Freen said while Becky just nodded her head like an obedient child. Freen smiled, looking at the girl leaning on her shoulder as she kept massaging her head for a few minutes. After 5 minutes, Becky held Freen's head, stopping the latter from continuing it, making Freen look at her confusedly. That's enough, your hand will get hurt, Becky said, feeling worried, holding Freen's hands, making the older girl look at her confusedly. It's all right, Becky, doesn't matter, Freen said, patting her head as Becky clinged closer to her, hugging Freen's waist. The younger girl doesn't know what's happening to her, but she just wanted to be close to Freen right now as she can feel her inner child is slowly showing, since it's been a long time since someone treated her like this. Do you want to eat? Becky shook her head. No, you need to. Then you can drink your medicine, Freen said, pulling away from the hug, standing up to get the food on the table, making Becky sulk. 1852. N.K/SLTE. Freen come back with the food on her hands as she sit beside Becky while the younger girl just keeps staring at the food, didn't have a single appetite to eat. Becky, just eat a little, please? Here, I will feed you, Freen said, waving the spoon of fried rice in front of Becky's face, leaving the younger girl with no other choice. Becky eat it, making Freen smile widely. Good girl, come here, I'm gonna give you a kiss, Freen said, moving her face closer to Becky, but got pushed by the shorter girl. Freen. Don't, Becky said, making Freen laugh and back away. All right, I'm just joking, Freen said, before feeding the younger girl again while Becky gave the death glare. Without her notice, her food already half gone since Freen keep feeding her non-stop. See, I know you are hungry, you almost finish your fried rice, Freen said, giving a gummy smile. It's because you keep feeding me, Becky said, rolling her eyes before taking the plate from Freen's hand, putting the food aside. Freen looked at her, furrowed her eyebrows.
Why?
You need to eat more. Freen, I'm full. Okay, fine, Freen said as she stand up and get a glass of water with a medicine in her hand before sitting down beside Becky again. Here, drink this, Freen said, giving the medicine, even though Becky is such a strong woman, but the first thing she hate is medicine.
Yeah.
The little pills on Freen's hand. Seriously? You don't like medicine? Freen asked again, feeling surprised. Yes, I don't like, Becky replied. Freen facepalm after hearing the answer. Becky, you need to, or else your headache gonna get worse, Freen said, giving the medicine again, but Becky still being stubborn, avoiding Freen. Freen sighed before looking at her. You leave me with no choice, Freen said, pulling Becky closer before putting the medicine in her mouth, making Becky confused. What are you doing? Becky asked after seeing Freen drinking the water. Why are you the one drinking dash? Her words cut off after a pair of lips meet hers, making Becky froze in the spot. Freen's hand going up to Becky's neck before her tongue pushing the medicine inside her mouth. Becky can feel her heart going to burst in any second as without her notice, she already swallowed the medicine from Freen's mouth. Freen pull away, leaving an inches between them as she looks straight through Becky's eyes. Sweet, Freen said, licking her lips, smirking, pulling away from the stunned girl. Becky still shocked with what happened as not a single word coming from her mouth, still processing things inside her. Mind thinking, did Freen really just kissed her? Or just to help her drinking the medicine? F Freen. Becky yelled, slapping her arm while Freen just laughed after seeing her red face. What? You left me with no choice, Freen said, shrugging her arms and smile, making Becky feel more frustrated than before.
Ugh.
I hate you, Becky groaned before glaring at the older girl. I love you too. Freen replied and smiled cheekily. Becky sighed again for 100 times. Gosh, I can't believe her.